Hey guys, I'm going to be doing a more in-depth breakdown of the 9 Black Ops 4 Zombies trailer. I'm going to be covering stuff like the alchemy that we see throughout the scenes, show you some other cool stuff that raises some questions, and then trying to find out like who are some of these people. For example, the female voice that we hear in the opening of the trailer, she tells them you're travelers and that they need to listen to her warnings, and then she tells them to inhale the alchemy potion so that they can travel through space and time. And here's a really short clip of her speaking to the characters.
Let yourself fall through the ages, through time and space itself, and pray for your safe return.
Okay, so who is this lady? Obviously, we're not going to know yet, but is she going to take on some kind of role that Dr. Monty did? Obviously, she knows how to use alchemy and is telling them what to do, so maybe she's going to be the one guiding them through the story. She's telling them that she hopes for their safe return, so hopefully she's on their side. However, they seem to be using the same alchemy and dark magic that the Illuminati leader is using inside of the arena. If you look closely at the bowls that the characters are holding, the outside of the bowl is etched with the same kind of symbols, the one we saw in the image that Treyarch had tweeted, and also it is all over the Illuminati leader. The one that Bruno is holding says rot, dead, and dead. You can't really see the other ones, but it has the same theme and same symbols as everything else we've seen so far. The image that Treyarch had tweeted, we broke it down and I was able to really look into the backstory of the symbols regarding alchemy, and it does look like a potion for resurrecting the dead, and I wasn't sure if the potion meant to resurrect the dead in a way where it makes them more human again, but no, clearly this potion is meant to transform people into the dead and create a dead army like you see in the trailer. So after knowing all of that, why are these bowls covered in those types of symbols? I guess it's possible that they're using black magic and they're harnessing its power to use an alchemy potion to transcend space and time. You do see their eyes turn black when they do teleport, so I guess that's a possibility. The next scene coming up shows Diego holding the bowl, and he has a ring on his middle finger, and shout out to Zeroy for spotting this. He thought it looked a lot like Nero's rings, and he looked at Nero's model, and what do you know, it's the identical ring. One could speculate that they're related or they're in the same organization. This could just be something that the devs reused as an asset. Could also indicate that they're in the same universe. I'm gonna go with reused asset, and it probably doesn't mean anything, but it's still pretty cool. I don't know how deep Treyarch is gonna be going with backstory, but I'm guessing that they just needed some jewelry. Next thing I'm gonna show you guys is my attempt at breaking down all the alchemy you see in this trailer. One thing that helps to understand it is something that Craig Houston had said at the BO4 reveal. He said there's an ancient order hell-bent on transforming the world to fulfill the nefarious agenda, and that their story is drawing from history both real and mythical. This definitely helps to explain the alchemy symbols just a little bit. The alchemy that you see is real. Their symbols do exist in real life, and they are ancient for the most part, but the way that they're using them and applying them in this game is not realistic. To better explain it, here is a message from a real alchemist. I showed him some of the symbols, and he said there are a lot of alchemy symbols used, but it doesn't really say anything. Kind of just looks like someone wants to throw some symbols around. I went ahead and researched all of the symbols to see if there was anything that I could find, and there's just nothing. This took a really long time to do, but it doesn't really tell you anything. It just seems like they were like, well, this symbol looks cool and that means dead, yeah, throw it on there. And just in case there's a slight chance that I'm wrong and there is some deeper meaning, I did want to go ahead and get this all charted out for future reference, but I'm feeling like this is going to be like the Apothicon language where we spend a lot of time on it and it never meant anything. For example, the Shadow Man also wears clothing with the language on it, and it is lined on his jacket, and when you translate it, it just means nothing at all. It's just for decoration. There are a couple of things that I did find out while researching all this that is pretty cool to know, and I'll show you guys that in just a moment. Here is a shot of his left sleeve that's all charted out, so nothing, you know, super exciting there, nothing really new. And here is his right sleeve, and this is the part that I could actually see. And there are a few new symbols here, but for the most part, looks like they looked at a chart and said, that looks cool, put it on there. There are some medallions on his chest, and there is one that is actually pretty telling about what's going on, but there are some other ones that do have alchemy on them, and they don't really mean anything either, and I just wanted to show you guys these. And I guess one benefit of me showing you guys this, even though it doesn't really mean anything, is just so that you don't wonder, like, like, oh, do these symbols mean something? Do they need to be decoded? Well, most likely no. However, there is a larger medallion above the smaller ones that have some more significance and some real backstory. This is a elemental pentacle with the 4 elements on it, and there's a difference between pinnacle and pentagram. A pentacle has a circle around it, so clearly that's what this is here. This symbolizes eternity, totality, and unity. You can see the 4 alchemy symbols on here. There is fire on the top, water on the right, and the bottom is air, and the left is earth. And in real life, alchemists associate triangular symbols to represent these elements, like you see here. So this medallion is representing alchemist and in unity, and you can see that everyone in the crowd is also wearing one as well. So Treyarch is taking some historical references and making some sense out of some of this. And I definitely appreciate the detail they've put into this. There's one shot at the Colosseum, and you can see 2 banners hanging up on the left and right. The one on the left means air, the one on the right is earth. I suspect that there's probably 2 other banners somewhere that say fire and water, just like we see on the pinnacle medallions that they're wearing around their neck. The next scene shows the Egyptian artifact that they used to turn people into zombies, and you can see 5 symbols on here, and these are the planetary alchemy symbols. You've got Mercury, Uranus, Sun, Venus, and Neptune. There's also one more symbol that you probably don't see very well, but it's the symbol that's encompassing all of these symbols, and I'll highlight it right here. This is actually an alchemy symbol, and it represents physical and spiritual transformation, which makes a lot of sense because they are using it to transform people into zombies. So taking from the physical transformation. So that was a ton of research, and I'm sure there's some more backstory we can get from some of these symbols, but I don't think it's gonna help us. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and we'll see you next video.